Before we begin this urge surfing exercise, take a moment to get a small piece of food, something bite-sized like a raisin, a grape, or a soft candy. Pause this video and come back to it when you're ready. The idea here is we're going to allow this urge to rise, peak, and fall the same way a wave does, without acting on it. And as we do this, you are going to take control of your physical actions and your attention. In this exercise, I'm going to ask you to put the food inside your mouth and have it rest on your tongue without biting into it or swallowing. The idea is that you'll notice the urge to swallow and how that urge will rise, peak, and fall over and over. We will try to do this for a few minutes. Make sure that you breathe through your nose during that part of the exercise. If you need to stop because it becomes too difficult, then of course do so. I encourage you to resist the urge for as long as you can without causing any harm to yourself. Sometimes when the urge to swallow is really strong, feelings of anxiety might appear. We want you to surf those feelings as well and notice how they also rise, peak, and fall with the urges. Before we begin, take a moment to acknowledge why doing this practice will be helpful for you. While we're doing this practice, you might notice thoughts popping up that are trying to hook you and tell you it's too hard or that you don't like doing this. If these thoughts come up, just acknowledge them and let your mind say what it wants while you keep your attention focused on the exercise. Before we begin, let's take another moment to establish an anchor that can help you if you're feeling overwhelmed by difficult thoughts and feelings. This might be noticing your breath in and out, or the sensation of your feet on the floor, or your back on the chair. Pick your anchor and put about 10% of your attention on it. If you get hooked by these thoughts and feelings, come back to your anchor and then refocus on the exercise. Now sit up in a posture that is upright and present, with your spine straight and your feet on the floor. Anchor yourself, really noticing your anchor that you have chosen. Now place the piece of food inside your mouth, letting it rest on your tongue without biting it, and close your mouth. Notice how the saliva begins to build in your mouth. Notice any temperature changes in your mouth. Notice the urge of your tongue to move the food around or for your teeth to chew. Notice the urge of your throat to wanting to swallow. Remember that you can breathe through your nose. Notice if you're tensing any part of your body, such as your chest, throat, or shoulders. Notice any difficult feelings that are showing up for you. Notice if your arms, legs, hands, or feet are feeling restless. Remember, you can keep 10% of your attention on your anchor. Notice if you feel the urge to move around or distract yourself. Notice that you might have the urge for this exercise to end. Return to your anchor if you're feeling overwhelmed. Notice your relief when the urge falls, and how it becomes uncomfortable when it rises and peaks. Notice if your mind is trying to hook you, and just let it talk in the background. Notice if you're swallowing without even realizing it. Notice that even when you're feeling this urge, you can choose where your attention goes. Notice where the urge is strongest in your body. And broaden your attention by noticing your body around the urge and the room around your body. Bring your attention back to the urge and notice that you have control over your body actions. Move your feet. Turn your head. Take a stretch. Now bite into the piece of food, splitting it in half and letting both pieces rest on your tongue. Notice how the saliva in your mouth increases. Notice how the urges to chew and swallow intensify. And keep noticing as you keep part of your attention on your anchor for the next few seconds. And take your time as you chew and swallow the food, noticing how you are able to resist the urge for several minutes. So our urges and cravings are often like waves that we can surf. So they rise, crest, peak and fall, and do it over and over, just like as if they were in the oceans. And what we want to do when we're having those is just catch the wave and ride it right into shore until it completely passes. If you haven't been surfing before, that's okay. You don't have to have actually done it to be able to do this practice. It's just really getting to know ourselves and notice when we're having the urge and what we've decided to do with that urge. So this practice can be a bit difficult to start with. You may end up swallowing maybe sooner than you meant to, and that's totally okay. It takes a lot of practice. It's something you have to do over and over in order to get good at it, especially when we're actually trying to apply it to real urges and cravings in life. This is a great practice to do if you have strong urges to drink, use substances, even have like food cravings, like you really have a sweet tooth, maybe you're like me and really have a sweet tooth, and this is something that you can do in order to try to ride out those urges. Also things like gambling, right? Any kind of urge or craving that you have. I want you to take a couple moments now and just reflect on why doing this was important for you, what you noticed during the exercise, what you noticed about your ability to resist the urge or not. What you're noticing now as you're reflecting back on the whole practice that we just did. All right, everyone, take care and keep making the most of it.